Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Daily Update, my 1000 Day Challenge. This is day 594, so let's get things started. Alright, so first and foremost, in terms of a market structure update itself, our equity balance itself remains the same. I'm not entering any trade right now. So both in terms of main trading account setup and also in terms of experimental trade setup. So on the other hand, in terms of a US market-wise, things look to have a potential shift of momentum, especially with a very strong bounce yesterday itself, and price is still maintaining that kind of high prices right now with a potential strong break above the downslope trend line. That could signify a much potential switch in terms of a daily momentum itself. So we are still somewhat near this downslope trend line. So tentatively, there could be some sort of weak resistance, but if we do manage to break it within the next coming week, that will be a very good sign that we could have reached a short-term bottom in that sense. Of course, it could also turn out to be a dead cat bounce over here, and then we could still have further downside. But that is very much potentially what we are seeing over here. Like I mentioned, we are seeing decreasing strength in terms of sell-off pressure and a switch in terms of momentum if we can successfully form a change in terms of market structure itself. So same thing for Nasdaq, we are seeing a potential in that sense, but of course it definitely broke above the downslope trend line. But of course the key thing I want it to be is actually form somewhat of a weak pullback, and then after that we break high above these previous high yesterday close itself, and that will mark a potential shift of momentum just as well. So if S&P 500 and Nasdaq move in tandem and breaking the downslope trend line and pushing up further with strength and momentum, that will definitely be a much more stronger sign than just either one of them doing it alone. All right, so similarly, on the other hand, for ASHRK, where itself definitely have a strong bounce itself yesterday, but hit right into the key resistance itself, as you can see over here. So definitely something to take note of. Previously, the 20 exponential moving average acted very strong resistance over here. So right now, it was very near there, and we similarly face some resistance right over there. So if we do face a further strong pullback or further down of a drop, there's definitely a possibility. But if it's actually a weak drop and then we actually cross strongly above that, similarly, it could mark a shift in terms of momentum, especially with what was being announced by the Chinese government and the support they do intend to give for the financial market, which is kind of a little bit unexpected, truth to be told. But bear in mind that, like what I said, at the end of the day, it wouldn't make sense for it to completely decimate their own financial market, because ultimately the financial market does give them access to capital, which capitals indirectly allows them to expand and grow their team in terms of their company-wise, and indirectly that also provides a stronger economy for them in terms of long-term wise. And that is definitely something that the government do want in the essence of things. But definitely, as in line with the common prosperity itself, they do not want it. It wouldn't be as favorable in the comparison sake for the US capitalist kind of a market structure itself. All right, so yeah, in terms of it, how low do we hit? So tentatively, we only hit the 80% low before we have strong bounce. So definitely, it could be the end of it, the retracement itself, we have a shift of momentum until this resistance region is being breached, which means we have to break above 37 region itself and stay above that. Then I could potentially say that it could have reached a capitulation and confirmation in that sense. But otherwise, we could definitely still see further downside momentum, especially being rejected off the 20 exponential moving average, similarly like what you see over here. All right, and then finally for Bitcoin itself, similarly actually a very decent, nice bounce in tandem with the Nasdaq and S&P 500, even though it's not as strong, but whatever I mentioned. Overall, even within from the February to March currently right now, it isn't as bearish as what you're comparing it to the Nasdaq or S&P 500 or even ASHR and KWEB itself. So this kind of non-correlation is something that you do want to see, seeing that the fact that crypto market do in fact is forming a different kind of a sector or industry, and that people do view it differently in that sense. All right. And yeah, but otherwise, nothing much I'll say in update, because on the forward chart, things still looks to be choppy. I have a very clear uptrend. Moving averages are just crisscrossing and relatively flat in terms of a 180-degree kind of a flat line. So flat straight line wouldn't make a good sense when it comes to trend following kind of a trade setup. Otherwise, that's more or less about it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop by your comments below, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.